Good day. I'm delighted to welcome you to a rather marvellous little world. It is a world of cogs and springs, of patient hands and keen eyes. We are going on a journey, you and I, to discover how a watch is made. It is a process that is part engineering and part artistry, a wonderful blend of precision and passion. Whether it is a simple, honest timepiece that costs but a few pounds, or a grand complication that represents a lifetime of savings, the fundamental journey from raw material to a ticking companion on your wrist is a story worth telling. We shall explore this step by step, with no rush, and appreciate the mastery involved. Every single watch that has ever existed began not as a piece of metal, but as an idea. It starts in the mind and on the drawing board of a designer. This is the crucial first step where the entire character and purpose are decided. The designer creates a great many sketches, exploring shapes, exploring sizes, exploring styles. Is this a rugged diver's watch, built for the depths? Or an elegant dress watch, slim and discreet, for a formal dinner? Every choice will ripple through manufacturing. Creative exploration, tempered by practical considerations. Once a general direction is chosen, the work becomes far more detailed. The design team must make firm decisions on every element. They select materials for the case and for the bracelet, perhaps stainless steel for durability or gold for luxurious warmth. They determine the dial color, the style of the numerals, the style of the hour markers, and the shape of the hands. Will it simply tell the time, or have complications? A date window, sub-dials for a stopwatch, phases of the moon. The team creates highly precise technical drawings, not mere sketches, but architectural blueprints for a miniature machine, with every component drawn to scale with exact dimensions. These schematics guide the entire factory. They dictate the size of every screw, the shape of every gear tooth, and the exact placement of every part, ensuring components made in different places fit together perfectly. The design phase is a delicate balancing act. The watch must be beautiful and desirable, but also functional and manufacturable. Designers work closely with engineers and watchmakers. A very thin case is elegant, but fitting a complex movement inside is challenging. A large, bold design may be fashionable, but will it be comfortable every day? The final approved design is a testament to collaboration, art, science, and ergonomics, ready for physical existence. After the design is finalized, one of the most fundamental decisions is the choice of the movement. The movement, or caliber, is the internal engine of the watch, the intricate mechanism that actually keeps and displays the time. Broadly speaking, there are two great families of watch movements: quartz, mechanical. The choice between them defines not only the watch's inner workings, but its character, its price, and the way it is manufactured. This decision is at the very core of what the watch will be: its soul. The first type, and by far the most common today, is the quartz movement. Invented in the 1960s, quartz technology revolutionized the watch industry. Its operation is elegantly simple. A battery sends current to a tiny tuning fork-shaped quartz crystal. The crystal vibrates precisely at 32,768 times per second. A microchip counts these vibrations and sends a pulse once per second. A small motor receives that pulse and drives the hands. Quartz watches are exceptionally accurate, reliable, and relatively inexpensive to produce. On the other hand, the traditional mechanical movement, a masterpiece of microengineering with no batteries or electronics. It is powered by a coiled mainspring. As the spring unwinds, energy flows through a train of gears, and those gears move the hands. A mechanical watch must be wound by hand. The skill in designing, manufacturing and assembling these movements is immense, a craft passed down through generations. Within the mechanical family is the automatic or self-winding movement. A semicircular rotor pivots with your arm and winds the mainspring. Worn regularly, it rarely needs manual winding. The choice of movement, practical quartz, traditional manual wind, or convenient automatic, is the true starting point for creating the watch's heart. The watch case is the protective outer shell, the body that houses the delicate movement and dial. While its primary role is functional, to shield the inner workings from dust, moisture and shocks, its creation is a process of artistry and precision. The journey begins with a solid block or puck, stainless steel, titanium, gold or platinum, ceramic or carbon fiber. The choice is dictated by design, purpose and price point. Powerful presses forge rough forms. For higher-end cases, CNC milling carves metal with incredible precision, following the blueprint. It cuts the intricate curves, machines the lugs, and opens apertures for the crown and any pushers. The chunk of metal becomes a recognizable watch body. The case is still rough, with sharp edges and a dull surface. The next stage is refinement. Skilled technicians use polishing wheels, abrasive belts and compounds in a multi-step process. Some surfaces get a mirror-like shine, others a satin or brushed finish. This is highly skilled work. A single slip can ruin the lines. Final steps, threads for screw-down case backs and crowns are precisely cut. Tiny grooves are machined. Gaskets are fitted for water resistance. The case must be a fortress. Sapphire crystal or mineral crystal. Each must be fitted with extreme precision and pressed to seal. At the end, the shapeless metal has become a beautifully finished engineered vessel, ready to receive the heart of the watch. The dial, the face of the watch, is what we look at to read the time. It begins as a thin brass disc, machined to perfect diameter and thickness, with tiny feet attached to secure it to the movement. Next comes colour and texture, layers of lacquer, electroplating with silver or gold, and, for complex dials, guilloché, engraved wave-like patterns on a rose engine. With the background complete, numerals, indices and any text are applied. Pad printing uses a silicone pad to press ink from an engraved plate onto the dial. For luxury dials, polished metal hour markers are applied one by one. If there is a date function, a beveled window is cut to frame the wheel beneath. Meanwhile, the hands are stamped from thin brass or steel. Hour hand, minute hand, second hand. They are polished, plated or painted to match the design. Sometimes luminescent material is carefully applied into channels on hands and markers. The creation of the dial and hands is a process of layers, each step adding legibility and personality to the final timepiece. Now we venture deep into the heart of the mechanical watch, into the world of the movement itself. The manufacturing of these components is micromechanics, hundreds of parts, some smaller than a grain of sand, made with astonishing precision. The process begins with the main plate and bridges, the foundational chassis. Brass plates are milled to create recesses for gears, springs and screws. Gears, springs, screws. Every hole and post is a critical anchor point. The driving force is the mainspring, a long coiled ribbon of special alloy steel housed in a small toothed drum called the barrel. When wound, it stores potential energy. Its manufacture is highly specialized. It must deliver a consistent force over many hours or days. The gear train is stamped or cut from brass. Teeth are shaped and polished to transfer energy with minimal friction and maximum efficiency. One vital component is the jewel. Tiny, donut-shaped synthetic rubies set at points of high friction, such as the pivots of wheels. Ruby, a form of corundum, is incredibly hard and low friction. A steel pivot in a ruby bearing means less wear, less energy loss, better accuracy. The number of jewels once signaled quality. Today, plates, gears, screws, springs and jewels are refined constantly. After shaping, parts are often decorated, polishing, beveling of edges, Côte de Genève stripes. Non, non. Cherche pas que for. But a hallmark of high-end watchmaking, a sign of respect for the craft, every part made with utmost care. If the mainspring is the heart of the watch, then the escapement and balance wheel together form its brain. This is the regulating organ, controlling the speed at which energy is released. It produces the characteristic ticking sound. The balance wheel oscillates like a miniature pendulum. A hair-thin spiral, the hairspring, sets its natural frequency. Making a hairspring that behaves uniformly across temperatures is a monumental metallurgical challenge. Working in harmony is the escapement, most commonly the Swiss lever, consisting of an escape wheel and a pallet fork. Focus on the pallet fork, a small lever with two jewel pallets. Jewel pallet 1, jewel pallet 2. As the balance swings, it nudges the fork, unlocking the escape wheel for a moment. The wheel advances one tooth, pushing the fork, which keeps the balance oscillating. This locking and unlocking happens several times per second, breaking the unwinding into discrete ticks that move the second's hand. The precision is staggering. Fork geometry and tooth profiles must be perfect. The tiniest flaw ruins the rhythm. It is the soul of mechanical timekeeping, a symphony of controlled motion. With all the individual components meticulously crafted, polished and finished, the moment of assembly arrives. In a spotless filtered environment, the assembleur works with tweezers, screwdrivers and magnifying loops. It demands concentration, patience and a steady hand. The main plate is fixed in a holder. Layer by layer, the gear train is guided into jewel bearings, and the mainspring barrel is installed. The escapement and balance are positioned. Tiny droplets of specialized oils are applied with an oiler. Too little causes wear. Too much can slow the movement. Once ticking, the dial is carefully placed and its feet secured. Fitting the hands is nerve-wracking. Hour, minute, second, each pressed onto its post. They must be perfectly parallel with proper clearance, or they may snag and stop the watch. The assembly is lowered into the case and secured with clamps and screws. The stem and crown are inserted. Gaskets are checked and the case back seals the watch. A strap or bracelet completes the transformation into a wearable timepiece. The watch may be fully assembled, but its journey is not yet over. Before it can be sent out into the world, it must undergo rigorous tests. Timing accuracy is critical. A timegrapher listens to the escapement and measures if it's running fast or slow. If outside tolerance, perhaps a few seconds per day, a watchmaker adjusts the effective length of the hairspring. A lever moved by a hair's breadth changes the timing. The watch is tested in multiple positions to ensure consistent timekeeping however it's worn. This can take several days of fine-tuning. Next, water resistance. Pressure chambers in air and water, shock resistance, controlled impacts, and magnetic resistance, exposure to fields. Only after passing every test is it ready for final touches. It is meticulously cleaned and polished with protective films applied. The watch is placed into its presentation box with warranty card and instruction manual. A final ceremonial moment. More than a machine, it's a promise of quality, a reliable companion, a small ticking piece of human ingenuity, ready for the wrist of its new owner.